On today's Tuesday Talk, we are answering a question from a viewer that's a little bit more thought-provoking. They asked, besides working really hard and investing, what else did we do to set ourselves up to live this beautiful life of freedom that we are now enjoying? And I think one of the big things that sets us apart maybe a little bit from other people is that we're okay with change. Not only are we okay with change, we will actively seek out change before we are forced to do so. So that's the big difference. A lot of people change when they are forced to. We will actively seek it out. For me, I seek it out if I think it's going to make my life better. So a big example of this is I have done so many different diets and changed what I've eaten and what I've drank over the course of the years to try to get rid of my migraines. I've been vegan for a long time, obviously gluten-free. I gave up alcohol for a long time. I just did all these different things before I found the histamine-free diet that finally worked and got rid of my migraines. And most people I know with migraines, they may do a little bit, but most of the time it's just take the meds, listen to the doctor who says you just have migraines, and just deal with it. And for me, I was like, no, I will do anything in my power. I will change my life to get rid of this pain. And so that obviously is one of the examples. Moving into the Airstream is a big example. We lived in a really nice house, in a really nice place in Tucson. And then we moved into a 200 square foot trailer, which I love. But that was a very big change. That was something that was a very big decision to make. And we obviously weren't forced into it. We chose to make it. But I thought life would be better that way. Steve is even more into change than I am. I change when I feel like it's going to make my life better. Steve changes because he gets bored about what he was doing before.
Yeah, I don't like long-term routine at all. The same thing day in and day out, going to a job, doing the commute, the house and the stuff. Eventually, I just need something different. And that's one of the reasons why I changed jobs every 4 to 5 years. I made a lot more money that way.
Yes,
I got to work with new people. I got to build my network a lot more. And I got to just see different things and address different professional challenges. And that kept me, I don't know, a little bit more active and motivated and things like that, I guess. And that just goes to my personality of always wanting to try different things, see what works, and then see what doesn't.
We also like to challenge ourselves a bit. So, for instance, the gym is one of the ways we challenge ourselves quite a bit. How heavy can we lift? I've run 2 half marathons, did not like them, but ran them. So there's that aspect of things as well, the challenge of seeing if you can do things. We're not as into that as some people that we have met who just do things because they want to prove they can. We're not there, but that is an extra cool aspect of it that will get us to do things.
I might say something that will make some people angry or offended or something. I don't know. You can't please everybody, but you eventually, at some point, I'll say it that way, you have to make the decision to make a change.
Yes.
And there will always be, without fail, a reason to continue the status quo. Never doing anything different because you're afraid of what might happen if you do.
And that's why I was saying a lot of people are forced into change. They don't change until they have to, like it is life or death, or someone else, some external thing is making them change. Steve is saying that you may have always wanted to do this thing, but you're just not going to do it until you're forced to do it. He's saying, get there before that. Do it as a choice. Do it even if the situation's not perfect. Do it even if it sounds like it's going to be crappy, like me having to change my diet so many times, because the end goal is worth it.
The bottom line is life isn't going to be fair for everybody. Some people are going to have to work harder than others. And that's, for good, bad, or indifferent, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I think most people have way more control over their lives than they care to admit, or than they just want to admit for themselves. And I was very much one of those people in a previous life. I thought things were happening to me rather than me controlling my surroundings. And once I finally got over that hump and I realized that I can take control, just getting yourself to take that first step each subsequent step gets easier thereafter, and you really get a feel for how much of your life you really can control that you didn't realize you had that power before you took that first step. And that's really what that is why we are there were so many reasons why we didn't, or that we shouldn't do this, but yet we're here, we're doing it anyway. We sold both, 2 homes. We moved into a 200 square foot Airstream because we
very
chose
high paying good
to
jobs.
do it, and we live relatively cheaply and simply, and that really what makes this lifestyle I guess worth it and possible for us.
Exactly. And this is not for everyone, don't get us wrong. There are plenty of people who I know would be absolute miserable living the way we live, but what we're just trying to say is that yes, the investing and the working very hard played a huge part in where we are, but I think our mindset is actually the thing that really got us here. And that ability to say, okay, it's going to be tough, but we're going to go against society. We're going to go against our friends. We're going to go against what's expected of us. We're going to go against our parents, and we're going to do the thing that we really want to do one step at a time, even if it takes us 5 years to get there. And yeah. And that's what we did. And we're still changing.
And here we are.
We are still changing. We are still looking to change up things because, like I said, Steve gets bored. And so, expect changes in the future. We are still RVing. Don't worry. That's still happening.
We're not selling the Airstream either.
No.
Don't worry. That's not happening.
No. But there are changes coming because we do like to continually expand and try new things and see where we fit and what works for us.
Life is way more interesting when you try new things.
It is.
That's my personal philosophy. It's worked out well for me.
Yep.
And I think it has for you as well.
And not getting too stuck in the status quo.
That's right.
I like my comfort zone. He helps me push out of it a little bit more than I normally would, but sometimes you got to get outside the comfort zone to actually live the life you want.
You generally don't improve yourself living in your comfort zone. That's there for a reason when you need it. But most of us should probably live outside it and then go back whenever we need to, but then step outside it again. And that's...
Keep on growing.
That's
anyway,
very philosophical.
This may not have been what you wanted from our conversation. You may not thought we'd go into this thought-provoking.
As usual, nothing on this channel is rehearsed.
I know. But there you go. That's our answer. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you found that useful, we would love to hear about it down in the comments below. If you think we're full of it, we'd also, you could leave a comment and let us know that as well. And if you really liked it, you're welcome. We would love if you would share this with other people, because this is something that's not talked about as much in this community. People talk about how to get rid of your stuff and how to downsize and how to choose an RV and all those important things, but they don't talk about the mental stuff behind it. Like, how do you actually get yourself to do it?
Yeah, it's mind game.
It is.
Anyway, share, subscribe, comment,
like,
smile, laugh.
Have a great day.
Be jolly. Do all those good things.
Get outside your comfort zone. And we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Bye, guys. But not you guys. He likes you.